Hello, I want to walk through a demo on how I use Alfred just to show everyone else how to use Alfred. Hopefully, I can answer some questions. And first, we'll just start off at the very beginning, the homepage. So the homepage, you see here, you see quite a few components. You see a sidebar right here. You see two cards right here. You see another sidebar down here, a component over here, and then looks like a scheduling component over here. So let me walk through that. So right here, this is a sidebar. So this is the homepage view. It will take you to the dashboard view, which the dashboard view looks like this. Let's just jump. We'll get back to the dashboard view later. Now it takes you to each individual application. So you can just click this here. And this sidebar is always staying within the application of Alfred unless you click on the settings. If you click on the settings, that's a full page. So just to let you know, this allows quick, easy access to get to whatever view you want to see or whatever application you want to use. Here we can see the show assistant. So this is where you can interact with Alfred and have Alfred create tasks or complete create events, send emails, you name it. So here, let me walk you through an example of what I did. I reached out to Alfred and I wanted to create weekly goal evaluations between me and my co-founder. And so Alfred then looked at my schedule on Sundays, saw that I had 2 blocks here, but I was available otherwise. I said, okay, great, let's do 30 minutes, do it 6 p.m. EST. And then I booked it and I said create it, and then it said done, and Alfred created it for me. So that's the overall flow. In real time, I'll just show you in real time, drafting the email. And then this is one of my old This is one of my old email addresses, the Scribe. It was another business I started maybe a couple years ago, and so I use that to test. Yes. Let's say something along the lines of long time no see. How are you doing? Okay, so here you can see Alfred is thinking again. You're kind of prompting it, hey, what to say. And then you can see Alfred here will then end up creating this draft. Okay, so if you click down here, sending through Gmail. Okay, and then that's what we're going to say. And then we're going to say send it. It's going to send. You can see it's sent right there. You could also click the button to send if you want to send it that way. So that's just showing you, again, this is very useful. You can use it for actions. You can also use it to brainstorm and think through. So yeah, you can use it for a lot. Highly recommend checking that out. As you can see, we sent the email over here. So now let's just jump to the activity feed since I was already over here. Activity feed shows you all the activities that Alfred's performing. So like a lot of these, you can see the action Alfred's taking, moving this to folder, automatically archiving the email, labeling stuff that is and isn't important, creating drafts, right? So you can see the overall what Alfred's doing in real time, and this very much helps you kind of stay in the loop with Alfred without having the constant cognitive overload of having to keep up with everything yourself. So it's very helpful to have this on the homepage, manage it that way. Now with these two cards, again, you can select different cards. So you can select another option, this goal option, but I do like looking at quotes. I like having a quote of the day. You can see the weather-wise too, right? You put in your city, you update it, and that's kind of the process of getting your daily forecasted weather every day. Again, the different quotes. Here with the Outbox, okay, so this is a pretty new component. Actually, really like it a lot. So with Alfred, Alfred's running in the background, and it's triaging information. It's triaging your emails. Essentially, it's managing your emails, and it's understanding what's signal and what's noise. And anything that's signal related, it will pop up in this Outbox. And then you can create additional columns. So as you can see here, you can create additional columns and then title it, maybe it's project related or maybe it's invoices, right? So the thought process is that, okay, after you, let's say, after you reply to the email, right? You reply to the email, blah, blah, blah. It's not done though. The task usually isn't done with emails because usually there's back and forth. So if it's related to a specific project, instead of getting lost in the threads and then having to figure out how to follow up or what emails you need to follow up, you can just automatically move this over here to the follow-ups, right? And then that's kind of a nice holding place. It's essentially an easy way to organize your emails, especially for ongoing tasks or ongoing emails where there's a thread and something important and you want to make sure you don't lose it because everyone knows email is so noisy. There's so much going on. There needs to be an efficient way to keep up with it. As you can also see too, you also get calendar invites too. So with the calendar invites, again, you have those coming in, and this helps you also make the decisions of accepting or declining, right? And so they will also pop up here as well as tasks. So you can see here tasks too. And you can also, again, if this is, let's say, invoices, I want to manage all my invoices and keep up with them. Again, I can also pick through the data we have in the widgets, or with emails, again, it can go through your email or it can go through your calendar and you can put them in here. So it is an organization function. Think about it like that. It allows you to manage what's going on in your digital life from both a relationship standpoint and also an action standpoint. And that's kind of the purpose of an outbox. So think about it as inbox is information coming into you, and outbox is the actions you have to take and what you have to kind of continue to manage because it's very rarely is the email or the event done the moment you do the action. There's almost always like a reply back or kind of an ongoing conversation. So that's Outbox. Okay. Now with scheduling, now every user with Alfred, since Alfred's hooked up to your calendar, it only makes sense if we create a custom landing page for you um, to be able to send the link to another person and book a time, right? So you can see here again, it's very similar to Calendly, and it only makes sense to have everything all in one place. But you send this link to someone. Again, the page is loading right now. I don't know what's taking so long. Okay, there. Page is loading right now, and as you can see, you can book a time slot, right? And it's again, it's just a very manageable way to book time on someone's calendar. That's the entire purpose of it. So, okay, now we show that. Okay, you can see there's a booking right there. Now, what's next? Okay, well, let's go to dashboard. Okay, so here's the dashboard. Now, with the dashboard, this is a very good way to be able to see everything all in one spot. Again, here's my calendar later. But it's also very customizable, right? So again, you can move these around, right? You can organize it the way you want to organize it, which is really nice because it truly allows you to consume information the way you want to consume information from a snapshot standpoint, right? So not every single time do you always have to go into the applications. Sometimes you just need a view of what's going on, right? You can see down here, you can see my emails. And again, it just gives you a snapshot. So you don't have to be in the application to have a snapshot of what's going on at all times. You can also be able to create to-dos right here. Like this is a perfect transition point to just jump into to-dos. I really love to-dos. It's a very efficient way to manage what you have going on and keep a list. And as you can see here, again, so let's just say Alfred demo, right? So if I'm doing that, again, I can put it on a specific list. I can put it as a priority. Date, I really like this. So if I do, let's say today, okay, today, and then I add, boom, now it gets added, right? And you can see, okay, here's the Alfred demo. If you want to add subtasks, you can add subtasks. Let's jump into this a little bit further. So if we go to, what the, hold on, texting walking. Okay, so if we get here and click into tasks, here we click into tasks and we can see, okay, so you can make it repeatable, right? You can add it to a list, you can change the due date. You can also add context, so you can add notes, emails, calendars. Again, we have it all connected, makes it very efficient. Again, subtasks, we already accomplished this. And so another cool thing too is, let's say you want to add it to a project board, you can add it to a project board. And again, it just makes it a very efficient way to, at the end of the day, everything's connected. You have to understand everything's connected. Just because you do a to-do, it might be a to-do, but maybe it's also a part of a project board too. So part of a longer task other than just a daily task to get done today, right? If you have a more in-depth to do, right? you can also use that to generate a project board. And so that's a really cool feature. Okay, so that's to-dos. And again, this sidebar is collapsible. Okay, let's go back to, okay, we go to here, showed you to-dos. I mean, calendar is pretty straightforward. There's, again, you click here, you see the calendar. Again, you can connect multiple accounts in it, right? So that's really nice. It's a really great touch. Again, creating a calendar event. It's that simple. Okay, so after calendar, I'll save email for last. Notes is again super straightforward as well. Again, studying different case studies, right? There's different case studies, what you can do here. So let's say, again, you can ask AI about this. You can export this to a task because again, everything's connected. I can't emphasize that enough. Everything's connected. Your tasks should not be siloed from notes, from emails, from calendars, right? Everything's always connected at the end of the day. So that's kind of our thought process. That's why you can send this to tasks or to-dos, just like as if it was all within one application, because it is one application. The current status quo, everyone has all these different applications. They don't really talk to each other. So we are breaking that. So again, that's notes. Now, Kanban board. Again, with Kanban board, again, these were the Kanban boards generated from the to do feature I was showing you, where you can generate Kanban boards from to do features. So it is pretty cool seeing how it can generate such in depth to dos or such in depth Kanban boards, and then you can see here's a checklist too. So that's I really like that feature. The Kanban board too is just such a great way to manage projects, right? As you can see here, you can do this. You can drag these columns around. So from a project management standpoint, this is incredibly helpful. Okay, so that's Kanban board. Now let's jump to email. Again, everyone's favorite. So with email, see here, you can export tasks. So we export tasks and we already have the context there. We can do block time. So let's say we want to block time for, let's say Wednesday. Okay, set. And then we create task. And then you can see the notification. Cool thing is here, let's look at Wednesday at 9 a.m. See here, 9 a.m. Wednesday again. It's really nice, right? Everything's always connected, always in one. And you can essentially just transition data from one application to the next. But now let's go to reply. Again, we have here's a load AI draft. So with Alfred, it creates drafts in the background when it sees an email that needs a draft for it. So you can click this icon and the preloaded drafts will then generate, right? And boom, it's right there. Now let's say we don't want that. Let's say we want to create a new draft. Click this. I can say, again, thanks, Matt. Let me know if you have any more features or any more issues or feature requests. Generate. Okay, as we can see here, it's spinning down here. So it's loading. It's working on generating it. And it should be ready just about any second. Boom, it popped up. Okay, so you can see how helpful that is. Now, the one really cool aspect too is it generates the email not only based off this message, but by looking at the context of the entire thread. It also knows your style, your tone, your personality, usually how you respond to emails, how you don't respond to emails, as well as your signature too. So again, incredibly helpful. Now, another really cool thing too is you can switch between your emails just simply by clicking it. So again, I click this. Again, I go to a new email. So yeah, that's the email process. So those are the five. Again, these are the five widgets that you're going to have access to. Alfred's really exciting. It should save you a lot of time. It saves me a lot of time. And honestly, the best part about Alfred is not necessarily the time savings, but it's the fact that you don't have to think. So again, all this stuff is running in the background, especially a lot of the archiving, like moving to LinkedIn. So I don't have to worry about doing any of that. And taking that off my plate is one less thing I have to install in like the back of my brain from a cognitive overload standpoint. So it really is less about saving you time and more about almost saving you attention because it's one less thing you have to think of. And again, this is just the web app. We also have the we also have an SMS feature, so you can text Alfred. And when you text Alfred, you can interact via text message, which is unbelievably, for lack of a better word, awesome. It is so awesome because it's right there with you at all times. So I can text it everything I want to chat with Alfred from here. But I can also text it about other stuff, right? You can also have Alfred, hey, Alfred, remind me in 45 minutes to, take the well, I don't know, take the chicken out of the freezer so it can thaw out. Hey, Alfred, remind me tomorrow to respond back to Bob about the question he had from earlier today, right? And Alfred will then respond. He'll remember that and then respond via SMS to you the next day. So I cannot stress enough about this. I highly recommend you check out Alfred. It really will be a complete game changer with how you approach your day to day. And one quick thing too, we'll just show you in settings. So in settings, again, you can there's all this stuff that you can put in. Again, once you put in your phone number, then you can text Alfred. And once you text Alfred, Alfred will recognize your phone number, recognize your plan, and he'll text back to you. But you can see you can connect to multiple accounts. Okay. You can see there's also Zoom, so you can add a Zoom link, and Alfred can add Zoom links and meetings going forward. Personalization, again, here's the personalization Alfred has about you, about work, your email styles, all that jazz. And then email behavior. So here are the different rules you can have for email behavior. Again, you can have an auto forward rule. So anytime that there's something with invoice in the subject line that has a PDF automatically sent to that email. Anything from WeWork gets moved to a WeWork folder, DMARC goes to a DMARC folder, right? So you can see here all the rules I have that Alpha runs in the background. And then this is what I really love. Again, talking about a cognitive overload standpoint, I have Alfred text me whenever I get specific emails. So anything related to a Stripe payout, Alfred text me. Anything related to a user cancellation email, Alfred text me. Anything related to an Alfred user issues, Alfred will immediately text me. And again, this, I cannot stress this enough, but this helps me sleep so well at night because I don't have the constant fear and nagginess of, well, what if someone's reached out to me? What if someone sent me this email? What if there's another thing I have to do? No, because I know if I don't have a text message on my phone, I don't have to worry about it. And until I get the text message, I don't have to worry about it. Once I get the text message, okay, now I need to fix it. But that in itself kind of takes out at least what I found was the biggest pain point I had in my life is feeling like you always have to be at your desktop and constantly have to monitor your email to stay on top of the ball instead of just having the notification come to you to let you know, hey, now you have to check your email because this important aspect came in. So, a lot of users love this feature. I highly recommend, especially if you're, a solo operator, a small business owner, you're wearing 20 different hats. You're probably feeling guilty whenever you're not in front of the computer. Set up these rules so that at least when you put your head on the pillow at night, you feel like you can get sleep without having to have one eye open. And then once you get the text message, okay, now I have to address this. But it's almost like that insurance policy where you just have that and you feel so much better and so much safer. So highly recommend checking that out. Other than that, that's about the entire kind of tour of Alfred. Again, SMS is a lot, but it's I highly recommend you try out Alfred. A lot of users love it. A lot of users say they like it again, not because it necessarily saves them time, but because it decreases the cognitive overload they constantly suffer. It allows them to focus on what actually matters. And at the end of the day, if we can save you an hour and a half a day so that you can either focus on, managing your invoices or figuring out how to make your business operate more effectively, basically taking that time away that you would waste operating email and trying to track to-do lists and follow-ups and being able to spend that on more important business activities or even spending that with your kids and your family. That's a massive win for Alfred, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to essentially free up the amount of time you worry about stuff in your brain and free up the amount of time you spend on very tedious, non-important stuff in your business so that you can actually focus on what matters.